Though Molly is not attached to any particular faith, she does believe she is gifted by God. When looking at a client, she sees and senses energy blockages, and also receives psychic information about the patient, such as how the disease occurred, what remedies would be helpful, and what emotional traumas the client experienced. According to practitioners of energy medicine, when energy flows, a person is healthy and happy. When energy gets blocked, stagnation occurs, which results in negative emotions and disease. Molly is sensitive to these energies and is able to manipulate them in order to allow a person to return to a place of wellness.
Molly came into my life several years ago. I was compelled to see her as something inside of me drove me to seek overall better health and well-being. Amongst other minor ailments, I was allergic to fish for my entire life. I came to see Molly and she implemented a very simple cleanse and change of diet for a couple of months, which miraculously and ultimately led to a cure of my fish allergy. Today, I eat fish almost every day, which is unbelievable for me. Since I've started seeing Molly, I have not gone to any other Western doctors or physicians because I feel no need to. There's most certainly a huge contrast between Molly's attention that she gives and her approach to medicine and other Western trained doctors. As an example, about 3 times in my life over a span of 35 years or so, I've come up with some breathing problems, and I had gone to see Western doctors. They couldn't really figure out what it was. They pointed to some type of bronchitis, prescribed an inhaler, and made me feel better for a few days, and then it would recur at some later date. This, in my estimation, was really just masking an issue, but not curing an issue. This recurred at one point after I started seeing Molly. She took a completely different approach. She looked at my aura, looked at my body, and realized that probably through some type of fall or impact, my rib cage was pressed up. I believe it was against my liver. And so Molly did some work on my abdominal region at the time and was able to separate and pull my rib cage away from the liver. And instantaneously, I was hard of breathing coming into the session, and instantaneously I was cured for it never to recur again. The energy that one feels when Molly is treating you is subtle, and something that in order to really get the most out of it, one needs to be open-minded to the type of treatment. She really hones in on your overall aura and is quite amazingly able to pinpoint where all of the issues might be. I continue to be amazed by the fact that I come in and don't say what's wrong with me. Molly tells me what's wrong, and of course I already know that. She's just verifying what I internally feel, where the aches and pains are.
I believe with my whole heart that emotional and physical go together, and one cannot heal physical disease without emotional. I know that with every fiber of my being, and I've seen that in 11 years of practice. Everybody is familiar with the idea that when somebody gets nervous, that physical symptoms manifest. So if someone gets nervous or frightened, the heart rate quickens, we start to sweat, we may have palpitations, we may get butterflies in the stomach. That's just one simple example of how physical and emotional are connected. And so regardless of what physical ailment I'm treating, I will open myself up to determine the underlying emotional tension, the trigger spot. And when we find that and heal that, physical healing is inevitable.
Molly has an extensive academic background and natural ability, but believes that what distinguishes her from other doctors is love.
I was introduced to Dr. Molly about 5 years ago, and I had chronic sinus infection to the point where I was going to the ENT specialist and nobody could do anything. I couldn't breathe for 3 years, couldn't smell, couldn't taste, and I love food. So finally a friend of mine who was after me for about 2 years to come to Dr. Molly. After the 3-year mark and the specialist couldn't do anything anymore, I decided I'm going to come to see Dr. Molly and give it a try. So I've been sinus free for about 5 years now, and it took maybe about 3-4 treatments, and I could breathe, I could taste. It's been wonderful. So she's absolutely changed my lifestyle because I love food. Tuffy, he's 2.5, and in May he was sneezing and sneezing to the point where whenever he would sneeze, the kids and I would just stand back because his whole head was ready to fly right off. And I happened to bring him in one day when I was coming here, and I asked Dr. Molly if Tuffy could have allergies, and she said definitely he would have allergies, but she didn't know he was in the vehicle, and she said bring him in next time. So I said, well, he's in the vehicle, and she told me to go outside and wherever he sneezed, pick up the grass. So I did that, and she cured him the one time, and he hasn't sneezed. He doesn't sneeze. He was consistently sneezing, and we live in the country, so he's always outside and was sneezing constantly for about a month. And he has not sneezed since then. So it's, again, with him, she's totally cured him. I have 100% faith and belief in Dr. Molly, and I've probably referred 40 to 50 people to her. When I believe in something, I will refer anybody that has a problem. So no, she's totally changed my family for the better. I think Dr. Molly's balanced all of us. She just makes everybody calm and just have a balanced life. I'll come to Dr. Molly even if I don't have a problem. If I'm just feeling lethargic, just feel like I have to be balanced, or just come and see her. She does that quick fix, but it's a natural quick fix, and you feel much better.